nuts. Okay, so this is really for those of you who keep trying to make healthier choices. You know, you want to lose weight, or you want to feel fitter or be stronger or feel better, but then you get sabotaged because lives are so busy, or you sabotage yourselves, which a lot of us do, or maybe, you know, you just don't know where to start. Let me just let Outlook. So at Outlook, that's a lot of what we do. So in the 12-week program and in the membership, we're about teaching you guys to find time for yourself and to pick things to work on and stick to them and follow them through. I think life is so busy. Hi, Helen. And I think it's really hard to be healthy in this crazy world that we live in at the moment. You know, we're surrounded by ultra-processed food that pretends to be healthy. And you look at the supermarket and they've got these health halos on of ticks and good choices, but actually half of them aren't. And if you're not a nutritionist, how do you know that? We're also so time poor because we've got our own life admin, but then often as women, we're looking after kids, grandkids. You might be in that sandwich generation where you're looking after kids, grandkids, and your parents. And with the best will in the world, it's really, really hard to make things stick. But I go back to that analogy of the oxygen mask on the plane. You know, in case of an emergency, the oxygen mask comes down and you've got to put yours on first, even before your child, because if you're not fit and well and healthy, or if you can't breathe, how can you possibly help anybody else? I think we're so used to, as women, we're the bottom of the heap. The career, the husband, the house, the kids, everything comes before us. We're at the bottom. And we end up in a situation where we're looking after our car better than we look after ourselves. You know, how can it be that our car has become more important than us? Like, it has its warrant of fitness. We put the right fuel in it. We make sure that there's oil in it. We get the tire pressures right. We do all of that, but we don't look after ourselves. I just think it's nuts. And new habits are hard to form. It's like, one of my favorite authors is Robin Sharma, and he says that all change is hard in the beginning, messy in the middle, but glorious at the end. And I agree. I think it's really hard to make changes. Often we set off really well, but then it gets messy because we get pushed around in the middle. But if we keep going, the results are phenomenal. And it's just absolutely so worth it. So I think that the key is not to get overwhelmed. So if I can bring that up. So what I want you to do is, like, while we're on this call, I want you to pick one thing to work on over the next 30 days. And perhaps you could actually, it'd be great if you would pop it into the chat. If you can think of one thing. So it could be to drink more water. It could be to do more exercise. It could be to snack less. It could be to make healthier food choices. But it needs to be, whatever you choose, it needs to be quite specific. So just putting drink more water in there, yeah, drink more water, but that's not enough. It's got to be right. How much? So how much water do I want to drink over the next 30 days? So it could be that for you, Michelle, it's 1.5 liters. Could be, oh my God, I'll never do 1.5 liters. I'll start with 1 liter. For other people, it might be 2.5 liters or 3 liters. We got any more in the chat? Anybody else got anything that they want to put in the chat that's something that's dear to you that you specifically want to work on? Just pop it. If you go down to the bottom of the meeting, you'll see there's a little chat box there. And if you click on that, you can just type into there and just pop in what it is that you want to work on over the next 30 days. They take a minute to come through, so I'll hang in there. And then once you've got that thing. So let's say to Michelle. Michelle, how much water are you going to drink? She's laughing because we had this discussion yesterday.
1.5 liters.
1.5 liters. All right. So 1.5 liters. That's your mission. Everything else is just sitting there, but that is the one thing that you're going to put your attention on. Because if you do that one thing, it's going to help so many other things. If you're drinking enough water, you're going to have more energy to exercise. If you're drinking enough water, you're not going to crave sweet and savory snacks so much. So it's going to actually help with everything. So the next kind of thing that you need to do is think about why that is important to you, because you've got to have a strong why. And the reason we have to have a strong why is because your why has to be stronger than your why bother. So if you don't want something badly enough, then you'll do it for a few days and then it'll be, can't be bothered. So your why has got to be stronger than your why bother. So you've got to think about what that why is. So for me, if it was more water, the why would be, I want my skin to be clearer. I want to feel less bloated. And I want to have less cravings for sweet and salty foods. And I want to have more energy. So those would be my strong whys. And I would encourage you, once you've found those whys, to write them down. So write down your one thing you want to work on. So this is a process. And I'm hoping that after this, you're going to be able to apply it to other things as well. So pick the one thing, think about why it is important to you. Then you want to visualize the version of you in 30 days' time who has achieved whatever it is. So it could be, you've got to visualize the version of Michelle that is leaner, your pants fit looser because you've drunk more water. You're not holding on to water all of the time. You might have lost a little bit of weight as well because you're not snacking as much because you're drinking the water. You may have more energy and you find that you're doing even more exercise. I know you've started with your exercise. It could be something like, be another good example. Another good example might be steps. So some people say, okay, for the next 30 days, I'm going to do 7,000 steps. And this is really important to me because I want to age well and I want to be fit and healthy and I want to be out there playing with my grandkids. Don't want to be frail and falling over. And my cardiovascular fitness is important to me. I want to be able to walk up a hill without being breathless. So that could be one for you. And then it's like, how will I feel in 30 days' time when I've achieved that? I won't be breathless walking up the hill. I'll have probably more mental clarity because I've been getting more oxygen into my brain. My clothes might be looser again because I might have lost a little bit of weight as a consequence of that. One of mine for last month was I noticed I was getting quite stiff. And so one of mine was to do morning yoga, just 10 minutes morning yoga every day. And so I wanted to do that because I want to keep my flexibility as I age. I don't want to be a stiff old board. And so then I could imagine myself in 30 days' time being more flexible, feeling better, being able to get in and out of the car better, pick things up better. I have done crazy ones. So one I did was to do a handstand in 30 days. I did achieve, but only against a wall. I couldn't do it in the middle of the floor. Another one, which I was crap at, was juggling. And then one of my recent ones, because I've taken up playing the ukulele, is to practice every day. So it can be something, it doesn't even have to be something to do with health and fitness, right? It can be anything. So, but you've got to do it. So you've got to do these stages. I reckon this is what we find works really well at Outlook in the membership, right? So hi, Sarah.
Hello.
So pick one thing that you're going to work on for the next 30 days. You write down why it is important to you at a really deep level. Why is it important? And then you visualize yourself in 30 days when you've done it for 30 days. So it's like a new version of yourself. How are you going to look? How are you going to feel? How much more energy are you going to have? Really kind of lean into that a little bit. So that's the first three. And then number 4 is, so in the membership, we use a monthly habit tracker. And it looks, if you're, those of you who are members, you have access to it. It looks like this. Can you see that? Oh, I'm back to front here. So. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the habit tracker. If you're in the membership, it's in July. It's at the very beginning of July. You can print it off. I'll come back to that, Michelle. Yeah, that's a good question. So we have a habit tracker. So what we do is we pick our thing. So our thing might be, oh, this is hard. It's back to front. Our thing might be 2 liters of water or 1.5 liters of water. And then you're going to tick it off each day that you achieve it. So I have 2 of these. I've got one on my office wall and one on my fridge. So I see them every day. Otherwise, we start the 30 days with the best of intentions, but by day 4, something's happened and we've been sabotaged and we've got too busy and we've forgotten to do it. So that's why I find these are really, really useful. The other reason that they're really useful, there I am. The other reason that they're really useful is the human brain loves the little dopamine hit of achieving something. And believe it or not, putting a little tick on the tick chart, it's like giving a child stickers, right, on a sticker chart. It works because you get a little dopamine hit and you get the satisfaction of seeing these ticks mount up over the month. Now, it might not be something that you're going to do every day. So water is an everyday one. 7,000 steps could be an everyday one, or it could be, I'm only going to manage that 5 times a week. So my aim is to do it for 20 days out of the 30. And you'd write this down at the beginning where your habit is. So you know what your goal is for the month. So at Outlook, we do one of these every month. We are supposed to do one of these every month. And then I think accountability is key. So I tend to post mine in the Facebook group so people can see how I'm going. And I think that helps to keep me on track because I have to be a role model for you guys. So it's quite useful. So that is the habit tracker. And then to further reinforce it, so again, at Outlook, we do a food planner, okay, which looks like this. And every day we plan our food ahead because we want the version of us in the morning who is, she hasn't got compromised by a gazillion things happening yet. She's able to make good choices. She's able to see her way through the day. She's able to see that she can take snacks with her. She's able to see what choices there'll be at lunchtime or what she can take with her and what she's going to have for dinner. We want that version making your food choices. We don't want you when you're frazzled at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We don't want you making food choices then because it'll be the Labrador that makes the food choice and it won't be a good one. So we keep these every day. And what I encourage you to do is, as you've got your 3 intentions, your 3 daily intentions here, make your one thing. And I suggest you do 1 to start with. When you get a bit more advanced, you might pick 3 little things a month. But to start with, if you're struggling to get on track, pick 1 thing for the month and put it as one of your daily intentions, which could be, you know, today I intend to drink 1.5 liters of water. And you've written it down again. And then when you've done it, you're going to tick it off your chart. And you can tick it off here as well. I intend, my intention today is to walk 7,000 steps. And that might mean that I have to do 3 circuits around the house at lunchtime, whatever it is. You've made that intention. You can see how it might be tricky and how you're going to follow it through. I'm going to be in the car all day today, and I'm going to be wanting to pee if I drink 1.5 liters of water. So how am I going to get around that? Am I going to drink more in the morning and more in the evening? Or am I going to think about where the pee stops are? I used to know where every toilet was on the North Island, I reckon, but some of them you wouldn't want to use, right? So some of them you really wouldn't want to use. So that helps, I think. Writing it down daily is just, it's reinforcing it. And it means that because you're writing it every day and you're going to be planning your food every day, it means that you're not going to forget by the time you get to day 4 and you, and you get put down at the bottom of the pile again. Oh, what happens if I do that? Oh, very good. So then I also think that to create some kind of a mantra, and that mantra that I use for the month is often the same as my daily intention. But like when I do silly ones, when I did my handstand challenge, it was I'm going to be a handy stander. And I just said that to myself every day. And I said it to myself 3 or 4 times a day. I'm going to be a I don't know, jostling juggler, whatever. I'm going to be, you know, a food planning ninja if planning your food is your goal. I'm going to be a water drinking ninja, whatever it is. So it's quite good to have a little silly little mantra around it as well. And if it rhymes, that's even better. The next thing you need to do is plan a reward. So you've got to plan yourself a reward for the end of the 30 days. And that might be, I don't know, whatever it is for you. It could be a lunch out, it could be a manicure, it could be getting your hair done, it could be a spa, it could be just the luxury of shutting the door and having a bath with candles when nobody's around. I don't know. It could be buying a new book, it could be going to see a movie, it can be something really tiny, but just give yourself a little reward that at the end, when you finished using the habit tracker, that's what you get. Now, if you don't have, so like Jerry, you're not a member. If you scroll up, in fact, have you found the chat box, Jerry? Go to the bottom. Yeah, go to the bottom and find the chat box. And I'll just put it in there. So if you click on it, you'll be able to download it. Okay. If you have problems and you can't see it, just message me after this call and I'll email it to you. But any of you that want the habit tracker, quick and easy, there it is. Okay. So where did I get to? So plan a reward for the end of the 30 days. Now, the other thing, we have this saying in the membership called stay on the train. And we reckon that when you start, any changes are going to be hard at the beginning. So you're getting on the train, you're getting on your health and wellness, fitness or weight loss train or whatever it is for you. You get on that train in Auckland, and our goal, whether that's lose 5 kilos or 10 kilos or climb Mount William or run 5Ks or whatever it is, lower your cholesterol, lower your blood sugars, whatever your goal is, that's Wellington. So we've started in Auckland and we're heading for Wellington. So if on your habit tracker, you get to day 10 and you totally mess up for 3 days and you don't drink the water, or you don't do the 7,000 steps, or you do eat carbs at night, or you do drink alcohol, you don't throw your hands up in the air and go, oh, I knew I'd never do it. I'm bloody useless, blah, 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 blah. You go, so what? I had 3 days in Papakura Station, not the nicest of places to be, but I'm going to get back on the train because I'm still going to Wellington. And that is the mindset that you have to approach making new habits with. It's like you haven't messed up till you give up. It doesn't matter if you're not perfect and you don't get 30 ticks on your habit tracker, but you're probably going to get 10 or 15 or 20 that you wouldn't have had if you hadn't gone through this process. And that is our goal. It's a process. It's not about being perfect. And if you don't do particularly well with it, you just make that your habit for the next 30 days until you can stand on your head or juggle or play the ukulele, right? Whatever it is. So stay on the train. And sometimes I get messages all the time of, oh, it's a train wreck and I got off and it went without me. Doesn't matter. Stay on the platform, wait for the next train, get back on, still going to Wellington. And funnily enough, that's where Fiona is, in Wellington. So cool. You're already there. So you better get on the train, Fiona, in Wellington, and you're going to Auckland. And I don't know where your version of Papakura is that you might get stuck. but that's the way round we're going to do it for you. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So,
Can I go to Fiji on my train, please?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or on your train, you could come to the Outlook retreat in Bali.
Ooh, yes. Hello.
Uh-huh.
That's where my train's going to Bali.
Yeah, we've got a year to save up for it. We've got an Outlook wellness retreat in Bali. That could be your reward for achieving
Woohoo!
several habit trackers.
Now we're talking, Jenny.
Yeah. And at the end of each month that you tick them all off, then you give yourself however much money it is for an installment to pay towards Bali. There you go. And then you come to Bali, no children, no cooking, no washing. Just think about you. Yeah, wouldn't it be neat? Wouldn't be neat.
Sounds amazing.
Guys, for those of you that aren't members, obviously I'm hoping that you will become members, but if you're not a member and you don't have one of these food plans, I can sell you one if you would like one, or just do it in a journal. I have a journal as well, so I keep a food plan and a journal, and it goes in both for me. So you can do either. So, and then when you get to the end of the month and you've stayed on the train, and you might not be in Wellington yet, right? Because that's the bigger journey. This is just one little habit that we're working on to get some momentum. But you might have got further down the North Island or up the North Island, and then you pick your thing for the next month. And I have just found just picking little habits like that and building on them. So 1 month could be the water. You got the water, tick. This month, I might still put the water on the habit tracker just to make sure I keep doing it. But this month, I'm going to do my 7,000 or 10,000 steps. And then the next month, I'm going to strength train 3 times a week. And then the next month, I'm going to stop eating ultra processed snacks. And then the next month, I'm going to try and not have carbs at night. Or the next month, I'm going to start eating breakfast again. Or the next month, I'm going to make sure I eat enough protein. You know, whatever it is. And it's something you said, Sarah, earlier this week, is that very often the mindset has to be, it's about adding things, not taking away. So it's not about saying, I'm not going to eat any chocolate.
I'm never allowed to eat chocolate again.
Yeah, that won't work. It's about, for the next 30 days, I'm going to increase my fruit. I'm going to have 3 pieces of fruit a day.
Yeah.
For the next 30 days, I'm going to have 4 handfuls of fibrous veggies a day. So it's on adding things rather than banning things. And I think it's quite interesting because Michelle's doing Dry July at the moment and she's doing really, really well with it. And I've done Dry July as well in the past and done really, really well with it. But it's a little bit like doing a 12-week challenge is you get to the end and you binge. So I know you're going to Fiji. She's already going to Fiji, Sarah. And that's what used to happen when I used to run 12-week challenges. That's why I don't do it anymore. It's a 12-week program because with the 12-week challenges, people would over-restrict. They'd take everything out, get to the end and go, thank God that's over, and just go back to what they were doing before. Whereas now I get people all the time, even people who haven't done particularly well in the program, because it's been the wrong time in their life and they haven't applied themselves to it, will come back to me and say, you know, what I learned about nutrition over those 12 weeks will stay with me for the rest of my life. You know, and I think that's much better than I hated every minute of that 12-week challenge that you ran. And I either beat myself up because I was crap at it, or I had to be the best. And I lost 20 kilos, but now I've regained 30 kilos. So that's, you know, that is just bullshit. And it's where that whole mindset thing comes in. So those are my tips for just taking things slowly. Don't try and run at like a bull at a gate and do everything at once. Just pick little things and you will then reward yourself. You will feel like you get confident. It takes courage to start, but you get confident once you get going. And every little new habit you install, from eating broccoli every day to drinking your water every day to getting your steps in, makes you feel more confident. It increases your self-esteem, and it's like a snowball. You start to get momentum and you can roll forward with it. Some people, it's silly things like taking supplements every day. Like it might be take creatine every day so that you can think clearly. You know, it might be remember to take my vitamin D every day through the winter. It could be just simple little things, but those tiny little things build up to make you feel and act often like a different person. So that's really my message to you guys. If you're not in the membership, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 people here are in the membership. If you're not in the membership and you're interested in joining, I will email you after this with all of the details. We do 3 months minimum term so that you get 12 weeks, which is long enough to get these habits in there and to take on enough without it being too crammed. And then after that, you can stay on in the membership, or you might do your 12 weeks and be done and come back at another point. But I'll send you all of those details afterwards, and I'll give you a bonus. What shall I give them? I'll give you a free one of these, which we're not doing at the moment unless you're in the gold program. So with the silver program, you can have a free one of those if you join up in the next few days. How's that? Okay, Michelle. So Michelle's saying, I forgot to ask yesterday, is what do you do when you're craving something really yummy at night, where I would normally have had chocolate or ice cream? So, great question. Very often, so where you're at in the program at the moment, when we run this program, because women, once we get to a certain age, we don't break down carbohydrates very well at night. So part of what we do in this program is we put the carbohydrates. We do believe in carbs. We're not keto or anything mad, but we put the carbs in breakfast and lunch and take them out of dinner. Now, your brain at the moment is used to you having carbs for dinner. So after dinner, even though you're full, you've had your protein, you've had lots of lovely veggies, or you've had soup or casserole or whatever it is, you're full. So it's not real hunger, but your brain goes, where's my carbs? And so what our brains aren't terribly clever. And so what your brain, so what your brain does is it wants something sweet. So because it thinks it's missed out on the carbohydrate portion, which it kind of has. So when you know that, it becomes easier to control it. So you can go, oh yeah, it's just because I'm not eating so many carbs at night. It may be for a little while that you need to increase your protein. So you eat a little bit more protein, which will keep you fuller for longer. Maybe that you drink a little bit more water. Those things can help. The thing with cravings is that they're not true hunger. They're an emotional hunger. And so therefore, if you can process them, so if you can lean into that craving, so it's like, how does this craving feel in my body? It's really uncomfortable. I feel grizzly across my forehead. My throat's tight. My chest is heavy. And I just want ice cream, right? That's how it feels. But that feeling is not going to kill you. It's just a bit uncomfortable. And we're bloody strong women. We do uncomfortable things every day of the bloody week. So we can sit through a craving. And generally, I tell people cravings last for about 8 minutes. But actually, the latest neuroscience says they only last for about 90 seconds. So if you can lean into that craving, feel it, don't try and push it away, because that's like pushing a beach ball down underwater. You're resisting the craving, resisting the craving, resisting the craving. Then you can't hold it down anymore and you let it go and it pushes up and you eat out the whole cupboard. We're not trying to do that. You've got to sit there with the craving. Go, that's interesting. Why do I really want that? I'm not hungry. So what is the thought or the emotion? What's the itch that I'm trying to scratch with ice cream, right? Because it's not hunger. Sometimes just getting up and doing something different. So it might be going and having a spa or a shower or reading or whatever, just to take your mind off it, because it's a habit, right? And I know with you, Michelle, we were talking about how you're used to having a biscuit or something sweet at night. And so you're So therefore it looks for it. So it's a habit, it's a neurological pathway. So if you don't do it for a while, it will go. You'll make a new neurological pathway, which is not having something sweet after dinner. But in the short term, if you feel you need to, so like I used to have my dinner, and then about an hour later, I'd have yogurt with Weight Watchers jelly and some berries. And then about an hour later, I'd have a jar of hot chocolate. Now, I wasn't doing that because I needed it. I wasn't doing that because I was hungry, but that just helped me get through the evening. And then over time, I found I didn't need the yogurt, and the yogurt and the Weight Watchers jelly was like my ice cream, I guess. I just didn't need it anymore. So that went. I still had the hot chocolate at night, and then I changed the hot chocolate to cacao with almond milk and stevia, and then I found I don't need that anymore. Sometimes I might have a lemon and ginger tea or something before I go to bed, but really don't need it anymore. But it was just a process of working through that. So does that help? Does that, I can't see you at the moment. Let me just go.
I did go down the road and looked at the chocolate and put it back and bought some of those pea snacks instead.
Yeah. So a little packet of the pea snack would be good.
Yeah.
Or if you're someone who can just do 2 squares of dark chocolate. So some people, I'd eat the, yeah, I love it. So Kenny and I share a whole bar generally, and then it's up. But a lot of people with that really dark chocolate, it's not so moreish, and they find they can just do 1 or 2 squares and then move on. So that is an option, or something like those Sante bars, you know, the red Whittaker's Sante bars, they're little like a cigar. They're like 140 calories. So if you did that, and then you'd find after a little while, you wouldn't need it every night. And it could be the same with your pea snaps or whatever. The idea is that we want to get rid of emotional eating, and we want to get rid of giving in to cravings and urges. So we're kind of more in tune with our body, and because you don't crave more chicken, you don't crave lentils, you don't crave broccoli, you crave ice cream, So it's these ultra processed foods, or processed foods that are highly palatable because they're sugar and fat all mixed together, and they're luscious, and they've got that great mouthfeel, that suck us in. And over time, you still want to be able to have ice cream, but you want it to be a planned treat at the weekend. So you're in control of the ice cream. The ice cream isn't in control of you, right? And that was my thing. And I always tell the story, like for new people. I had a client once who, she had a really busy life. She had very demanding teenage children, and a husband that she really didn't like anymore, but was staying with him because of the demanding teenage children. And she had a demanding job, and she'd get home, and her reward at the end of the day, like some people, it might be drinking a bottle of wine, but hers was when everyone had got to bed, she'd get a container of ice cream out of the freezer, cookies and cream ice cream, and she would just hoe into it and eat most of it. Yeah. And I knew if I said to her, you can't do that anymore, she would have lasted for maybe 2 weeks if we were lucky. She wouldn't have done 30 days on her habit tracker. And then she would have just given up and said, oh, look, I'll never do this. I'll never lose weight, because she was very overweight. And so what we did was we went, you know what? You're not going to eat it out of the container anymore. You're going to put it in a bowl. So that was our starting point. And we habit tracked that, 1 bowl of ice cream, not a container every night. Tick that off. And then she said to me, I don't need a bowl of ice cream anymore. And we were making progress because she was drinking water, she was moving her body more, she was eating more protein, so she was losing weight anyway. So you can lose weight eating ice cream, right? Just not a lot of it. And not when you're only 50 something kilos, Michelle, sorry. But she said to me, I can do a ramekin now, I don't need a bowl anymore. So we went down to just a little ramekin of ice cream every night. And then again, another month in, when we were doing habit tracker, she was like, you know what? I'm just going to have it at the weekend. I don't need it during the week anymore. So she completely got rid of that. And when you do get rid of that, a whole lot of stuff will come up because you're using food to numb your emotions. So when you take the food away, you've got to face your emotions. So she had to face the fact that she didn't like her job, her children were really demanding, and she didn't love her husband. But she became a stronger, more confident woman by doing that instead of hiding behind the ice cream. And she didn't get divorced or leave her kids or anything, don't worry, just because of ice cream. But she did make some really good changes, and she changed her job, so she was home more, and she set up borders, you know, with her husband and with the children, and made her life much better, which she never would have done when she was immersed in a carton of ice cream a night. So that's how I think we look at it, right? We don't need to reward ourselves with food. We don't need to block emotions with food, or we might need to right now, but long term, we want to work through it so we don't anymore. And I used to be bulimic, which was totally eating all of my emotions. And then I was also a compulsive eater, which was totally eating all of my emotions. And it took me about 18 months of working on managing my mind around food so that the highlight of my day wasn't stopping at Countdown on the way home from work and buying a big bag of scorched almonds and eating them all on the way home, because that was what numbed the pain I felt. You know, so I had to change that. And it is quite changeable. Anyway, kind of got off on a tangent. But long term, and those are things that you can track and change. So it might be that for a month you say, okay, so every night or the nights I feel like it after
cold, isn't it?
I have yogurt and ice cream. You know, and it's just yeah, it's just finding what that thing is for you. So anybody else got anything? Any questions or anything that you want to ask?
I've got to go. I've got a meeting. So thank you
Yes.
so much. And
My pleasure. I've gone over my half an hour.
that's all right. I'll see you next time.
I'll see you next time, Michelle.
Thank you. See ya.
Awesome, awesome. So it's basically just remembering it's kind of those 10 steps. It's picking something that's small and doable, not something that's huge. Don't try and do it all at once. Know what your why is. Why is it important to you? That's really important. Because if it's not really important to you, then it's much harder to stick with it. So why is it important? Visualize the version of you who's already done it. Have that strong visualization. I try and do that every morning. I visualize the version of me who's successful in the areas of my life that I want to be. Then do the habit tracker. I think it's really, really useful. Do one every month. Pick that little 30-day container because it doesn't seem so big then. It's like, can I play the ukulele every day for 30 days? Yes. Do I want to commit to it for the rest of my life? No, but I can do 30 days and tick it off. And then rewrite it down daily as a daily intention. Maybe make a little ditty or a mantra around it that helps to keep you on purpose. Have a reward, so you've got something to look forward to when you've achieved it. Stay on the train, so even if you miss 3 days in the middle of the month, that doesn't mean you screw up the tracker and you give up. You're heading to Wellington or Auckland, whichever end you're starting. And then you pick the next thing the next month. Give it a go. I would love to hear how you all go. If you're a member, please stick your habit trackers into the Facebook group. That would be awesome. And look forward to hearing what you pick and how you go with it. We're all going to be following Michelle's water. So we're all going to be following her for the rest of the month, and my ukulele. All right, guys, take care. Have a great rest of your day. Speak to you soon. Okay, bye. Oh, hi, Jerry. Hang on, I can't hear you. I need you to unmute. So you just need to go there.
Must have clicked it before.
That's
You hear me now?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Could you send me the info on the you know.
Yes, Will. Yeah, you used to be a client, didn't you?
I did, and I was working at the time, and
Where was that? Was that when I was at the Tractor Centre?
yes, it was.
Yes, I thought it
Yeah.
was. I do remember you when I saw your name come up.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
And
yeah,
it was really good, you know. At the moment, I'm just concerned because I've noticed that you have gone way more plant-based, which
Yes.
really wouldn't work in my
Yes,
household
so
with my husband.
I went plant-based in 2017, but the program isn't plant-based. So whilst, you know, I encourage people, especially if they've got a bit of inflammation or whatever, I encourage them to maybe have, you know, 1 or 2 meat-free meals a week if they can.
Yeah.
But it's not an integral part of the program. So there are, so each week in the program, each week you get a food plan, like I used to write them for you, you know, when we used to work.
Yes, yes.
But now they're online, and there's always omnivore options and recipes. So there will be options for egg and meat and chicken and fish. So that is all still there. Yeah.
We do try to have, you know, 1 or 2 meals a week without meat, but that might be fish, you know, or you know, something, or like tonight I'm going to make a quiche. I think there's a rasher of bacon in it, but
a rasher
but we'll
between.
have salad with it as well.
Yeah.
But you know, you're sort of cheap because you end up having probably a store-bought salad dressing, whereas I know if I just made it olive oil with some lemon juice and stuff, would be just fine. So I've fallen into some traps like that, and because I'm retired now, although I'm very busy, I play lawn bowls, and of course that's the other thing, is eating well when you're doing that.
You're on the run. Yes, when you're out and about.
You know, it's just easy to, you know, grab a sandwich or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But just kind of, sort of get back on track. Because when I was with you, I didn't, you know, my cravings went away. Sort of, you know.
No, I'd love to help you. That would be awesome. So the way it works for the so we do a weekly check-in where you send me obviously your weight and your measurements, and then I tweak your food plan according to how it's going. So we do that weekly, and then we also do a couple of coaching sessions each week as well, which is online, exactly like what we've just done.
Just did, yeah. Okay.
And you don't have to come to them both. They're always recorded, but most people try and come to 1 a week.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, there's nutrition.
I'm going to be going away still a little while away in October.
So now would be a good time.
So I guess it would be probably a good time, because when I'm there, I'll probably not be on it for a few weeks.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
Oh, my son lives in Perth. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll be there for 3 weeks and whatnot. But
And so you're doing bowls. Are you doing any other exercise at the moment?
I do walk, but at the moment I jammed my foot and walked into some furniture, and my little toe is really sore. I went for a walk the other day, and it sort of started it up again. So I'm just thought I do exercises, like, because I've got for my neck and also not sciatica, but facet joint. That bothers me. So I have those sort of strengthening exercises, but because I live in Hanua, I find it difficult to go like I was going to you know, to different things.
But you know, if you've got a resistance band and a Swiss ball and some light hand weights, you can work magic at home.
Yeah. So I've got that. So any of the exercises the physio's given me and that sort of thing,
Cool.
I try to do. I don't break into a sweat with it, though.
Do you have anything? Do you have an exercycle or anything like that at home?
No, I don't. No. Got the Swiss ball, and I've got 1 and 2 kilo weights.
Right.
And that sort of thing. But it's just a matter of yeah, probably getting on some kind of a program for that.
Yes. So we've got that as well as the other side of it. There's a whole lot of videos there that I've done, and a lot of them I did during COVID. So they are nearly all home based as opposed to gym based. So there's quite a lot of ideas in there as well.
And of course, the price will make a difference too. So we'll see how much you're charging.
Yeah, well, I can tell you now, if you like, so it's $197 a month for 3 months. So it basically works out at about $49 a week, I think, all up.
Yeah.
197
197 a month.
per calendar month. So you end up with a little bit more than the 12 weeks if you do the 3-month one. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I'll send you all of the details, and I'll send you a link, and then if you're interested, we can get going. And I only take, it's small groups. I only take 5 people at once.
Yes.
So it's quite nice because we have quite a bit of a lot of interaction actually.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, I had 2 clinics running because I gave up the gym, but I had 2 clinics running, and then when COVID hit, I still had to be able to help people. I was like, how am I going to work? And so which was hard for my 60-year-old brain at the time, but I managed to put everything online and record a whole lot of videos. And I think it's better. I think I help people more this way.
Yeah.
And then I still had a clinic in Waihi because I moved to Waihi, which is,
I see that.
so I still had a clinic in Waihi and a clinic in Pukekohe, and I closed the Waihi one. And then last year, my son lives in the UK, so I'd been back for 2 years running. And when I went last year, I closed the Pukekohe clinic, and that was so hard to do because I'd had a clinic in Pukekohe for 23 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it felt like a huge risk.
Okay.
But I loved it. Yeah, I've loved it.
It's
really good. It's really good. So it works really well. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. No, but you're looking good and everything. And I see you went recently to Bali, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a yoga retreat, and I just loved it. And I got talking to the lady who owned the place and realized that we could do a brilliant wellness retreat there because their chef and the food was just wonderful. And they had 3 swimming pools, and I teach aqua aerobics now in Waihi. So I thought I do aqua aerobics, and then I'll take a whole lot of bands and we'll do body weight stuff in the yoga shalas. And so I'm quite excited about it. Yeah. So next year. But yes, it was good. Yeah.
I was doing some aqua aerobics, but I found it a bit hard because of my feet and that and my facet joint to do the bouncing ones, you know.
Yes.
So I did it with the belt, the aqua.
Yeah.
What do you call it? And that was really good. But again, it was like, you know, getting in because I'm already going in and traveling quite a bit with the lawn bowls because I've really gotten involved with it. So
yeah. Oh, that's
and
cool.
I play a tiny bit of golf. Haven't been playing that as much. So, I mean, I'm being fit, and I'm probably what I weighed when I came to see you the first time.
Yes, you look good. Yeah.
You know, but you know, the tummy and hold it all around me.
Yeah, that's the trouble we do, don't we? Especially for
but I also, I guess the other thing why I'm interested in coming to you is energy, you know, like eating properly. So I've got that energy and that stamina for, you know, the 6 hours that we play, sometimes more, you know, at levels, you know. So yeah, and just to be able to keep my concentration all that time. Yeah. So I'm not getting younger.
That, you know, that's one of my goals as well. You know, I want to have lots of energy and vitality as I age and be able to do stuff.
Yeah.
Do stuff with my grandchildren because I've outlived my mum now. She only made it to 63.
Yeah, I have to.
And same with my aunt. And so at 65, I'm winning, and I just want to stay as good as I can, as well as I
Yeah.
can, as long as I can.
Oh, that's
And
neat.
it's such fun that I get to work with you guys and take you along on the journey with me. You know, it's just been brilliant.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
having that energy and vitality and zest for life,
oh,
hey.
for sure. Well, I'm 73 now, so
Wow, you look amazing. You're looking
yeah.
amazing.
So trying to. I would, my brain is not 73.
No.
I don't think.
No.
But my body is telling me you are 73. Yeah.
I'm totally in denial. My
Oh,
body keeps trying to tell me as well, and I'm like, no.
I'd like to still keep, like running and all that kind of stuff, and
Yes.
I stopped climbing up the Hanui Hills because of the facet joint, it
Yes,
really
that's
bother it,
yeah,
get
yeah,
it going again. So I walk, I walk up, but
yeah.
not up the hills. Yeah, not the steep hills, like
No,
when you go into the
no.
Hanuas. But
Yeah.
we're good here. I can just walk up to Wairoa Dam from where we live.
Oh, nice. Yes. Oh, that's
On
lovely.
that road.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty good. It's an hour and a half to 2 hour walk. So
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And I just got to get my foot right and I'll start again.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And are they going to do anything for it, or is it?
Well, I only did it last week, so I'm just waiting for it to
Oh,
you see,
right.
it's
Yes.
my little
Yes.
toe, I jammed it in while I was making the bed and it was just a narrow
Oh,
spot
that's
and I
so
it's
painful.
just stupid, And then I actually hit the wall with my head. Oh, and I thought, oh
Oh,
no, what have I done to my neck now? But no, that seemed to be okay. It's just my little toe is just a bit swollen and it was coming down, but then I went for a walk on Monday. No, what day are we? Yeah, Monday. And when I came back, it's sort of gone quite red and a little bit swollen
yeah.
again. I
Yeah.
thought maybe I better not do that because
I
I'm
don't
walking enough
so.
when I play bowls on the green back and forth. But of course, when you're walking, doing a proper walk, of course, you're probably putting a little more pressure.
Yeah.
on. Yeah. Anyways, you're probably busy.
All right. Yes, I should head off. So I'll send you that link. I'll send you that link.
That's neat. Thank you so much.
Look forward to working with you and seeing you soon.
Yeah. Okay then.
All right, Terry.
you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.